Hey everybody, happy Resurrection Day. Joseph Kibler here, your candidate for governor in 2026 for the great state and the great people of Wyoming. Today I just wanted to share a little message with you. Obviously Easter today or Resurrection Sunday. So great to be able to come before you today and to share this special message. This is something on my heart. I don't know if you've heard this story, The Tale of Three Trees, but I wanted to read this today to you all and share it with you and share some things on my heart today. So, once upon a mountaintop, three little trees stood and dreamed of what they wanted to become when they grew up. The first little tree looked up at the stars twinkling like diamonds above him. "I want to hold treasure," he said. "I want to be covered with gold and filled with precious stones. I will be the most beautiful treasure chest in the world." The second tree looked out at the small stream trickling by on its way to the ocean. "I want to be a strong sailing ship," he said. "I want to travel mightily across the waters and carry powerful kings. I want to be the strongest ship in the world." The third tree looked down into the valley below, where busy men and women worked in a busy town. "I don't want to leave this mountaintop at all," she said. "I want to grow so tall that when people stop to look at me, they will raise their eyes to heaven and think of God. I will be the tallest tree in the world." Years passed, the rains came, the sun shone, and the little trees grew tall. And one day, three woodcutters came and climbed the mountain. The first woodcutter looked at the first tree and said, "This tree is beautiful. It is perfect for me." And with a swoop of his shining axe, he felled the first tree. "Now I shall be made into a beautiful chest," thought the first tree. "I shall hold wonderful treasure." The second woodcutter looked at the second tree and said, "This tree is strong. It is perfect for me." And with the swoop of his shining axe, the second tree fell. "Now I shall sail the mighty waters," thought the second tree. "I shall be a strong ship fit for kings." The third tree felt her heart sink as the last woodcutter looked her way. She stood straight and tall, pointing bravely to heaven. The woodcutter never looked up. "Any kind of tree will do for me," he said, and with the swoop of his shining axe, the third tree fell. The first tree rejoiced as the woodcutter brought him to the carpenter's shop. But the busy carpenter was not thinking about treasure chests. Instead, his work-worn hands fashioned the tree into a feeding box for animals. This once beautiful tree, not covered with gold or filled with treasure, he was coated with sawdust and filled with hay for hungry animals. The second tree smiled when the woodcutter took him to a shipyard. But no mighty sailing ships were being made that day. Instead, the once strong tree was hammered and sawed into a simple fishing boat, too small and too weak to sail the ocean or even a river. Every day, he brought loads of dead, smelly fish. The third tree was confused when the woodcutter cut her into strong beams and left her in the lumberyard. What happened? The once tall tree wondered. What happened? All I ever wanted to do was stay on the mountaintop and point to God. Many, many days and nights passed, and the three trees nearly forgot their dreams. But one night, a golden starlight poured over the first tree as a young woman placed her new baby into the feeding box. "I wish I could have cradled him," her husband whispered. The mother squeezed his hand and smiled. The starlight shone on the smooth, sturdy wood. And suddenly, the first tree knew he was holding the greatest treasure of all in this beautiful manger. One evening, a tired traveler and his friends crowded into an old fishing boat. The traveler fell asleep, and the second tree quietly sailed into the lake. Soon, a thundering and thrashing storm arose. The little tree shuddered. He knew he did not have the strength to carry so many passengers. He knew that he did not have the strength to carry so many passengers. safely through the wind and the rain. That's really weird that an alarm went off on my phone right now, isn't it? The tired man awakened. He stood up, stretched out his hands, peace, and the storm stopped quickly as it had begun. Who do you guys think the person was that said peace? Jesus said peace on the road. Yes. The second tree knew he had carried the King of heaven and earth. One Friday morning, the third tree was startled when her beams were yanked from the forgotten wood pile. She flinched as she was carried through an angry, jeering crowd. She shuddered when the soldiers nailed a man's hands to her. She felt ugly, harsh, and cruel. But on Sunday morning, when the sun rose and the earth trembled beneath her with joy, the third tree knew that God's love had changed everything. It had made the first tree beautiful and the second tree strong, and every time people thought of the third tree, they would think of God. And that was better than being the tallest tree in the world. As we reflect on Easter this Sunday, there's an amazing thing about that third tree, and that is not just the man on the tree in the middle, but there was a man on the tree who, oh, my son is telling me to step back. I'm going to step back. There was a man on the tree to Jesus' right who said, "What must I do to be saved?" And Jesus said, "Just believe in me, and today you will be with me in paradise." You know, the beautiful thing about the sacrifice on the cross is that you can walk 100 steps away, and it's only one step back into the loving arms of Jesus. And what a miracle that we celebrate this day when you think about the Buddhas and the Mohammeds and the Joseph Smiths of the world. Guess what? You can visit their graves. But when you visit Jesus' grave, it is empty. And so with that, I encourage you to reflect this day, give hugs and kisses to those that you love. Remember that there is a man who died for you, and that today you can turn right back to him no matter how far you've walked away. With that, happy Resurrection Day, Wyoming. Wish you all well. Be safe, be warm, be filled, and until next time, we'll talk to you later. Bye now.